that you managed to go through a warp portal, which is a horrible, hazardous journey. You just survived when you discovered that you had some unwanted guests in the lower decks. Exploring the decks, you found that some tyrannid species had managed to find their ways to your ship, which is a worrying sign because they usually come with a scouting party at first and then an assault force later. You would all know this as experts in Xenos. You've landed and your mission culminates on this planet. This is the lost world of Askellon 1. It is a forbidden night world, feudal world. That means that before the Imperium existed, many thousands of years ago, this planet was swallowed up into the warp. It has since remained hidden from the Imperium. When you found it, you discovered that an inquisitorial group called the Ordo Originatus found the planet long ago, but were quickly encapsulated by this warp storm once they landed, and they ended their lives on this planet. While this part of the Inquisition lived on this planet, they investigated the warp storm called the Pandemonium and tried, and the locals think that they found the solution to the warp storm. Now that you've flown through the warp portal and are sort of orbiting outside the planet, all of your equipment is destroyed instantly by the surrounding warp storm. The same is true of the navigator houses, which are these huge independent sort of cartels that provide the Imperium with psychers that can aid you in space travel. They're also just hovering without engines, without propulsion. They have sent down scouting parties, and the Inquisition has sent down you. You are here to ensure the safety of the Inquisitor and to try to find a solution to the storm. Your mission is to end this warp storm. To complicate matters, a Xenos species called the Eldari have also landed on the planet. From your scouting investigations, it seems like they make a claim to this world, and they feel like you're the invaders. The Eldari are not entirely unreasonable, and it is possible to speak with them, though your Inquisitor frowns upon it. There is a competing inquisitorial group led by Carius Rhodes. He is somewhere on the planet, and his acolytes are trying to ensure that the Ordo Hereticus leads this investigation, and they are also in this city with you. There is only one surviving city called Charni. The rest of the cities on this planet have been burned by the Eldari, as they put up too much of a fight. House Charni is an ancient night house, and it's a city that you can see in an aerial view now. It's in the middle of a desert on the southern plains of the planet, and its leader, Savior, has brokered some kind of peace treaty with the aliens. You have set up shop in the local temple, and your arch-confessor, who's sort of a religious leader, has completely dominated this religious space, banned the locals from worshipping their gods, and introduced them to the god Emperor. Your mission is not... The way forward is not entirely clear, and it is up to you to find it. We can begin in the ecclesiastic district, in the basement of the temple. Next to the Archconfessor, you would wake up from a horrible dream. You've dreamt that one of your acolytes, an extremely powerful psyker, had caused some trouble, and some acolytes were sent out with him to take care of it. This is kind of a dark underbelly of the Inquisition, which some of you haven't seen. But upon seeing the Commissar, the military leader of the operation, returning, you can see sort of this grim seriousness on his face. He would have told you, Samuel, that Jack has been taken care of. Considered a liability to the mission, he was eliminated. You spent some time this morning just getting ready, eating, and taking whatever rations you have, and food and water. You'll see Hector, a throne agent, who is with you, and Llewellyn, a sister of battle, as well as a female judge. These acolytes, along with the Archconfessor, lead this sort of primary assault on the planet. The temple is surrounded by stormtroopers. You can see an image off to the right. They are elite warriors, precious and few, and they protect the Archconfessor with their lives. You'll wake up to this dim, golden light of candles everywhere, a smell of chipped stone and wood, as you see a fireplace in the other end of the temple. Some servants have gone around and lit all the candles. The Archconfessor slowly turns around. There's a holographic table in the middle of the room where you can see sort of a scan sent by your capital ship, which shows a surface scan of the planet. You'll wake up and sort of, whenever you're ready, go into the main room, your sort of operation room, and the Commissar, if you want to say a few words about your character. What do we see?
So, Commissar Rickard will be standing in the main chamber, straight back, peaked cap, let me see, what do you call it, the long overcoat over, what do you call it, the carapace armor, and he will be actually looking at a data slate, just scrolling down and scrolling down and scrolling down, taking a couple of couple of inputs. On his hips you will see a bolt pistol and a power sword, and will literally be ignoring everyone else in the room. That's me.
Awesome. Samuel.
Sam's face is lit up by the various candles in the room. The shadows kind of flickering back and forth, highlighting and dimming other features. He takes off his hat and puts it on a chair as he's suiting up similarly. First goes on the power armor, or first goes on the armor, next the combat vest, and then over all of that is his trademark trench coat. He gives the Commissar a look of begrudging respect that he actually carried out his duty in executing the most dangerous element of our current coterie. But he looks down and shakes it off before redonning his hat and starts walking over outside.
Awesome. Askellon, is he here?
Nope.
Askellon is not here. Let me see if I send a message. Alright, well, it's just you two. The Archconfessor glances over in your direction, nods, and it just seems to be the two of you sitting alone in the room. The Archconfessor has gone over to the holograph projector and seems to just be standing ready for you, waiting for you to arrive. Is there anything you want to do before you get up today, or take with you?
I think we have all that we need.
Awesome. Where would you like to go?
Now, let's get to it. Daylight is burning, so... Oh, let's see what he wants.
Agreed, as I hold open the door and shoot myself out of it, double timing it over.
The Inquisitor or the Archconfessor looks at you, sort of with a hesitant nod. There's kind of this subtext of a test, whether or not any of you are fazed by what happened tonight. The Archconfessor purposely puts on a kind of this demeanor of nonchalantness, and that doesn't seem to be that bothered. And upon looking at you, you can both do a willpower test.
Failure with 3.
Failure with 1.
Both of you seem kind of shaken by tonight's events. The Archconfessor disapproves. You can see a tall, stern, serious man with a piercing and intelligent gaze. He studies you as you approach. He's wearing ornate ecclesiarchy robes and jewelry, with pale skin, deep green eyes, and this graying black hair. He will sort of correct his robe as you approach. Look down on the table. Well, I see that you've awakened. I take it none of you are bothered by tonight's events.
We did as we must.
Indeed you did. And you did well, Commissar.
No, I did not do well. It is my 948th failure. He should have been better. It is my failure that he was not.
Indeed. Yesterday was a failure. Let us not repeat it. Hector. And you will see the throne agent Hector step out of his room and approach you. He is a tall man with advanced cybernetic voice implants. He's wearing an armored overall with metal plates covering vulnerable areas. He has intense blue eyes and slick back light hair. He has a slight maniacal grin. You can see that his many years of service have sort of made him somewhat inhuman. He approaches the table and looks at you. Sector Delta 4 has gone quiet. Are you paying attention? He looks at you, Sam, as he sees your eyes sort of darting around with vulnerability. as you are quite bothered by the missing members of the group.
Sam snaps to, and his jaw kind of stiffens. I have noticed this, indeed.
Well, the reinforcements are gone. We can't count on them anymore. Whatever is out there is hostile. It is just us. So, we have to set up a perimeter. He will look over to Llewellyn. However you can muster or mobilize the locals, do it.
So
Whatever it
you're
takes.
saying we are now an enclave.
You can call it whatever you like. We need to secure this city. He'll sort of point to an area on the holographic map. The Inquisitor has sent more acolytes, and he does not accept another failure. Is that understood?
It is understood. We will establish a strong beachfront as soon as possible. And in my communications with the locals, I think that we will be able to do as you command.
So what is the plan? How do we secure the city? How do we gain the trust of the king?
I think that gathering further knowledge in exposing what exactly is going on will be the most straightforward way. I think that directness rather than subterfuge will gain us in the king's paranoia some kind of refuge. As they say, the truth shall set us free, and this is no exception.
The God Emperor sets us free. Now, what about weapons? Wasn't there a knight? There is something in the report. He will flick through a data slate. Something about an archaeotech knight. Well,
There was indeed in our first delving into this planet. But that knight is a great distance away, and we cannot sway his allegiance from protection of that location.
there must be more of them.
I believe so, but at least of the information that he had given us, he seems to be the last one standing.
He will make a deep sigh. Have you asked the Chani ruler if there are more of them? We are just smelling the flowers here, waiting to die. We have to arm up and get on the offensive. Assemble whatever technology and assurances the locals have to offer. We need to acquire heavy weapons. He looks to you, Commissar.
Quite frankly, I would conscript every last man, woman, and child. But, obviously, that is not proportionate. I would suggest that we seek out those who are, let's say, more familiar to us and incorporate them into our regulars.
Use the locals somehow.
Yes.
Very
At
well.
least that could bolster our forces and allow our more regular troops to go to the front.
Just don't rely on them. We know that they worshipped a chaos god.
I would never rely on irregulars.
He will start to sort of draw a circle around the city. The Inquisitor can't land until we have guarantees that he is safe in the city. Tanks? Heavy machinery? You mentioned the Lim Russ. He looks to you, Commissar.
Yes.
If that is what you're waiting for, that is a fever dream. They'll be destroyed in the atmosphere. We can't crash land every vessel in the hopes that one survives with a vehicle. We have to make do with what we have here. Is that understood?
You are annoying me.
How would a Lehman Russ survive travel through the atmosphere without a lander?
Have you actually read our reports? There is something here that is preventing our transport from orbit.
He sighs deeply.
Once we deal with that, then we can deal with everything else. We can deal with them with overwhelming force.
Yes. Once the pandemonium is gone, all our troubles are over. But that is why we're here, isn't it? He looks a little bit tired and disappointed at this. You can roll a charm test minus 20, Commissar.
Just with 2.
He sighs. Maybe you're right. We'll see when we establish connections. He looks over to the staircase and you can see 2 acolytes descending the stairs. First, we're gonna do a little prequel for you, Callum.
Just beforehand, what he called, and just what I actually wanted to say. I understand that we have had difficulties between us before, but we need to get more forces down. If you can even help us with this, then even a midicurm, even a grain of sand would be grateful.
Do an influence test. Pure influence. You'll stand there and discuss back and forth how you can requisition reinforcements. And you'll refer to
Influence.
your connections with the Militarum and long history as a respected officer in the Astra Militarum.
Some will also pitch in and argue logistics about how we had recently lost one powerful force in the Psyker that had admittedly been a two-edged sword, and will argue that we require extra forces in order to bolster our forces.
Like, you get a plus 10.
Influence with 3 degrees.
Not 8. Well done. Hector will sort of lean back and... I suppose you're right. Llewellyn, the Sister of Battle, will slowly walk over to the table. An aura of absolute fearlessness and terror fills the room. Her eyes just exude this energy of violence. She has curly white hair in a bun, strict dark eyes, and a permanent frown on her face. She appears very athletic, despite her attempts to hide it under a stiff black dress and a uniform. She'll slowly lean on the table. And inspect the battlefield before leaning up again. If the rogue trader, navigators, and Xenos are out there, we need an assault team. Someone who can move without attracting too much attention. Her eyes slowly glide up to and meet yours. You need to command the troops. They can't just stay here.
I will happily command the troops. Will happily lead them into battle. For his name.
We must find out where the Origanato set up their base. She starts pointing out on the map. If the Inquisitor sees that we hold the city, we may win this. She looks out at the thousands of alien and hostile navigator troops filling the map. You have only a few hundred men in the city. We may still. As she looks up, Nyx will come walking down the stairs. And Calum, you are currently out in the desert when this conversation started. And we're gonna make a little prequel scene with you. You're driving through a hot desert landscape after landing and being let off the Aquila lander. As you're driving, you're coming up to a mountain pass. There is a steep rocky path leading down. Your land speeder is navigating through this tight fog up on the hills. And you can do an operate surface test at -10.
Operate surface test. Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is for flying on the surface. Sick. 1 degree of success. You'll sort of take a swift turn, making it down this very narrow alley down into the mountains. As you pass from cliff to cliff, your vehicle sort of bumps into the side of the mountain, and you can see some rocks falling down, hitting the top of your ship. As your anxiety increases, you can do a willpower test.
Okay. Trying to find it, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oof. 1 second. Can you roll a d100 for me? 100-sided die.
Yes.
Awesome. $25. Fear is going to grip you as you realize that you're heading straight for a rock. You begin to shake and tremble. You will suffer a -10 to all tests from now on. And as you're about to reach the end of this cliff, a large mountain predator is going to step in front of you. What do you do? Driving at full speed.
Oh god. Seeing this creature, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna try and take the bike and find a good rock that I can basically just use as a ramp.
Okay. That's going to be a -20 upright surface test for a jink action.
Alright. So, operate surface, and then modifier would be minus. Might not work.
It might not work.
And it didn't.
You have an inspiration point. Do you want to reroll?
I'm getting the slightest inclination that this is probably why I decided to stop in town.
You can do a. You can either use your ability, use a fate point, and automatically succeed.
If you want to re-roll, I've got a fate point.
You cannot share.
Sorry, what do you call it?
You cannot share inspiration points
Oh,
unless
that's
you're in
right.
the same
Yeah.
location. Alright. Do you want to use your inspiration?
Sorry.
Fate points. So how do fate points is just like a reroll?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. We have one. How many per game? Where do I find it?
It's in your sheet. You have 3.
Okay.
It's under your initiative.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've discovered it.
And if... Yeah, you can do a ton of stuff.
Okay. Gain a +10. Add 1 degree of success to a successful test. Shows an after. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and reroll.
Awesome. Remember, I gave you an inspiration point, so you can use that to reroll. You may only have 1 inspiration point. It's a separate system, so you don't have to use your fate.
Okay. I think I'm... Oh, I don't have to use the fate? Sure, I'll use the inspiration. Why not? Is it still at -20? Most likely, right?
Yeah, let's use your ability, which you can just automatically succeed. But you would have to use a fate point.
I think I'll use the fate point then. Sorry, I'm
No, it's
beginner
okay.
problems.
So you're using a fate point? Okay, you're down to 2 fate points.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you want to do that? Inspiration points come a lot cheaper.
I mean, it's fair. It's fine. We will go ahead and use it and test it out.
Cool. So, you heroically use this rock to bounce off it. In fact, you will sort of bounce off that and then take off out of the mountain in like a movie scene. You'll see this big cloud of dust behind you as this creature is just disappearing in the mist. And you shoot out at full speed over this totally flat desert landscape. From there on, it is just smooth driving as you just kick up this huge cloud driving towards the city. Well done. As you approach, you will see a giant walled-off city. Being met by the stormtroopers, you will be led to the Archconfessor's lair. And along with Nyx, you will slowly descend the stairs into the operation chamber, and you can see the rest of the acolytes standing there. They will slowly turn around when they spot you descending the stairs. And Azael, do you want to describe your character for us?
Yeah, Mike. My character,
Yeah.
as he like walks down the stairs, is as you can see, he's a black dude. He has a slender flame. You could see if you look into his eyes that he has like murky black eyes that's seen a lot of things that doesn't really care at this point anymore. As a and you could see he has a cloak covering most of his body, but if you looked under it, you could see a chain sword and something that looks like a claw underneath it, and it has a sash on his side that's filled with vials of whatever medicine that you don't really know what it is. And on his back, he has a sniper rifle attached there, just in case.
What kind of... If someone was to just spot you, just looking at you as a regular person, what would your face express?
Oh, my face would just be like, he has like a slight grin on his face at all times, but for the most part, just like a cold, serious face, like he doesn't really care about anybody here. Just wants to get the job done.
Awesome. And Kellen, what do they see when you descend the stairs? There's sort of this cloud of dust following you as the stairs are completely covered in dust. As you descend, your face and clothes will sort of light up with this golden glow from the candles.
Well, I enter the room looking like I just came out of a dust storm myself. Take my hat and patting it off against my leg, and you see this woman, lean build and looking a little bit mean herself. She's got these very crisp green eyes with some crow's feet around. She's seen some age. Or maybe the age has seen her. Her hair is, for all intents and purposes, also showing that time. Graying up. Somewhat silver up at the top with the tips of it. The remaining of what used to be brown hair. She doesn't exactly look prettiest, per se. But pretty isn't what it's about out here.
Sick. And what, judging from your outfit and your weapons, can someone guess what you do or what your background is from how you look?
Generally speaking, I used to spend my time up on the stations, grew up that way. Up in the stars. When I started taking a little more time down on the surface worlds, well, I built up a little bit more identity. Less just a maintenance engineer, like my brothers and sisters. Urchins as we were, and now more of a... Well, I suppose I kind of look like an outlaw at this time. I don't think of myself like that, though. I just do my work, do the job I'm given. Long, black coat. Sort of dandy. Kind of looks like I walked out of a western.
And, Kellen will be used to serving whoever needs her in the Navy. Usually higher ups will claw and take up all the time of the best pilots. And being one of the best pilots in the Imperial Navy, you would have had a lot of time serving superiors and learned quite a bit about the inner workings of the Navy while doing so. The rest of you have read their file. So, Commissar, you would know that she used to be in the Imperial Navy, and you will know that the mysterious character descending the stairs has a history of very... how would you describe your assassinations and history?
Oh, like these assassinations, these are like quiet. Like it takes like a few hours before anyone goes into where the person was killed. It's like he does this stealthily. No one knows he was there, kind of like a ghost.
Sick. Yeah, so it's like these reports are just like he went in, something happened, and that person doesn't exist anymore. There's nothing about how he does anything.
Some of them
like
look
that.
like accidents.
Yeah.
The high-profile ones are like look like accidents.
Exactly. The Archconfessor will sort of look at you and give a respectful nod as you descend the stairs, knowing how dangerous you are. And you can take it from there.
Upon entering the scene, Kaya will take stance next to the doorway, waiting more so than anything to have her leave an introduction by her superior. She does a polite bow. However is the proper terminology. I'm new. You can kind of tell that etiquette isn't exactly her strong point. Maybe it's just because she hasn't really been too much around the, his political dealings or missions that don't involve more than maybe one or two people. This is a whole affair. So, she's noticeably a little out of place.
You guys can take it away. This is a role-playing scene. So whenever you're ready to leave, just let me know.
Azazel like walks up to the commissar, holds out his hand as his face like completely changes. Hello, my new accomplices in this endeavor of this planet. It is nice to meet you, as they say.
As you say.
Yes, as I say. You have a reputation about you people. Except this lady over there. But a reputation nonetheless.
I have no reputation within the Inquisition. Neither do you.
I never said about the Inquisition, though. A reputation is a reputation, no matter where it's from.
So what is my reputation, then?
Your reputation is good at military. Not really for anything else.
A generic response. Well done.
Of course.
Next. You. I don't even know your name, mate. You. Earl.
I suppose that's all the better. Call me Kale.
Well then, Kale. What are you? Why are you here?
Well, mine's thinking that perhaps, if not just sent for shits and giggles, then more than anything, I'm probably here so I can help bus you all around. I've been around here a little bit longer. Those storms don't bother me none. She, at this point, finally puts her hat back on. What do I owe the respects to, if I might ask?
My rougher worded friend here is Reichart. He is a commissar. And myself, my name is Samuel. You can call me Sam. Extend an arm to Kale as well as Chizael.
Hale will take the handshake, and her grip is firm, but you notice that she has very delicate hands. She gives a respectful nod, and at this point finally gives a glint of just a smallest smirk. And she puts out her hand back to Rykard, Commissar Rykard as well.
It's the nose, isn't it? Everybody always comments on the nose, even more than this here scar. Go ahead, make your jokes. I've heard all of them.
None to be had. Quite frankly, I've seen worse. Oh. Okay. Seems your friend there is a little bit discombobulated. I'll let him compute.
Pay no attention to him. He's just focusing on things that happened last night.
Yeah, you
heard
can see
about
the
that.
commissar sort of zoning out. The commissar just goes into the room and will take some alone time. He's having connection issues.
I mean, couldn't have been
Oh, there
more
it
perfect. Hale trying to get a handshake from Commissar Rykard, and he
his hand is just limp, just hanging out, refusing to take any grip.
Yeah, I don't even think that. I think he just walked away.
Yeah, he just walked away. That would be like him.
Thanks.
I lost connection, dude.
I know.
In game, you just walked away. I mean, what can I say?
You look down the hand in disgust and walk away.
It's part of the story now. Sorry.
Actually, you know what? I'm happy with that.
Yeah. It fits. It's perfect.
How dare you try to touch me?
Hale just raises her eyebrows in a quick gesture, but turns back to the rest of the group, is folding her arms together. She's a little bit disappointed about it, but
You can see Llewellyn sort of looking at this and slowly getting up from her seat and walking across the table, or next to the table. She will extend a hand. Welcome.
okay, we'll also shake her hands.
If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You feel a coldness as her hand grips yours. As she looks into your eyes, you sort of lose foothold for a second. Almost like you're falling down as you look into her eyes, and all the trauma and battle and hardness of her training is expressed. And you feel it sort of like this shock of almost being disarmed. She will sort of lean up and look deep in your eyes. Your reputation precedes you. If you like, I can provide information on the sisterhood. Perhaps you should apply.
It's a consideration. I'd like to invest in this scenario, though, first.
We will see how you do in battle. She looks down at your gun. What kind of weapon are you carrying?
Well, I got the 2 pistols definitely equipped. They're in their holsters, kind of obfuscated by Kale's own duster, but they're not necessarily hidden.
She look very skeptical down at your revolvers, as this is definitely not something that the Sister of Battle would use. She herself has a chemical flamer as well as a plasma rifle, sort of laid on her chair. Yeah, you can tell that she kind of has this hint of how are you gonna make it through a battle with those. Of course, not knowing your skill or any modifications to them.
Hale, kind of like trying to compose herself a bit more. It's an honor meeting you.
Likewise. You could tell that she's really trying to speak and get to know you. She is severely injured. Perhaps spiritually, most of all. She'll slowly turn around and walk over to the chair. You can see Hector looking at you, and as soon as you spot him, his eyes sort of go down to the table.
Oh, no handshake for me.
Trying to not ignore anyone here. Yourself, sir?
Azazel. As he holds out his hand.
Curious name. She will shake it.
You could see under his cloak, you could see a sniper rifle on his back.
Hale will smile at this. Her eye, you notice that her eyes veer towards it. And out of curiosity, is this can I request checks to see if I know anything or can identify any modifications?
Yeah, so what you would do is just ask, do I know anything about this weapon? And then I'll let you know if it's a test or not. Most often it's not a test. But yeah, you would definitely know. This is a standard Astra Militarum sniper rifle. There's some signs of modifications to it. It's a little bit hard to see from this distance, but it's possible that it's modified.
Okay, we'll go ahead and nod and politely at Azazel. But she's definitely got this smile, more playful than anything. So you got yourself a sniper there.
Yes. Only for special occasions.
Special? What do you do in the meantime?
Well, you gotta get in position first.
You'll have to let me know what special necessarily means.
You see, if you ever need to know, you'd probably not know it was happening.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Also, you both get an inspiration point. Keep in mind you can only have one.
Okay. Okay, we'll finally, at this point, check on Hector.
Hector is standing by the holographic table, looking at the map. As you approach, his face is lit up with this blue, slight blue light. He looks over and his blue eyes are shimmering, almost reflective. There's something worrying here. The aliens. He'll begin pointing to various positions on the map. There's a large force above the city. And another. What if they are planning an assault? We are in the last city after all.
Have you identified leaders?
Not yet. There may be some from the craft world. If you remember from your... well, it doesn't matter. It was a craft world outside of Cerex Magnus. You can see that his eyes almost tear up as he is filled with memories from the comrades he lost.
You need a napkin?
He will look at you completely insulted and slighted. What?
No offense meant. You looking like you got some dust.
Have
in
you
your
been
eye.
in battle? Have you lost men?
Why would you need
Then
men?
you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You can see him sort of almost shaking as he looks down.
I meant no offense.
This is about the lives of hundreds of men. Look,
Israel.
he will draw a line up here. Navigator House Rosa are supposed to be our friends. They wiped them out. We are practically surrounded by enemies.
And there is a possibility that there is. I hope I'm wrong, but there is a possibility that there is enemies beneath.
What do you mean?
We encountered gene stealers.
Could they be here on this planet?
There's an entire possibility. And the fact that what he called now this planet has now come into real space, that they will then start broadcasting.
It will be an attractive
as
target.
Aquarian said, they seen psychers founded by their own minds.
You can do the Forbidden Lore. Xenos test.
Well, Quillian actually sort of said that, so I don't know much about it, but okay.
Listening in on this, would I know anything about that?
Hector will start asking questions about these gene stealers. Where are they from? How do you know this? Why would they be underground? Etc. etc.
Where was the entrance?
I have
Do any of you speak up or sort of join in the discussion?
4.
This is a Forbidden Lore Xenos Tyranid test.
I'm gonna have to use infused knowledge, if that's okay.
It does not apply.
And I cannot.
Confused is not for Forbidden. Does anyone have Forbidden Knowledge?
Nope.
Tyranid?
I have Tyrannid.
Go for it. If you like to speak up.
Why is it not working? I don't know why it's not working. Hold on.
I can roll some dice for you.
Hold on.
You get a fit nat 15. I don't think you want to roll that. Re-roll that. You're not 15 plus whatever things you have.
Yeah, just a flat 15.
That's a clear success. Probably 3 degrees.
Yep,
So
4
you-
degrees of success.
So you don't also need to go through all the dialogue, but just to say that, yeah. I mean, Aaron, maybe you want to say more about Tyranids and Gene Stealers, how they operate.
Well, what they do is they infest a planet. They ingratiate themselves into the
Hector sort of pounds the table. What he's trying to say is they take over your mind. They can control your mind and your body.
They do not take over your mind and control your body. They procreate. They use humans to procreate and what they call make more of themselves.
As you say that, you can see him turn pale in horror.
They are insidious. They are a parasite. They are the worst of the worst. Then, once they reach critical mass, the patriarch. Now, I have to be honest, I'm going through second-hand, third-hand information. They then somehow broadcast to a tendril, and they then come to that planet and destroy it.
All of you are standing around the table, lit up with this blue light from the holographic table, and you could just see it's almost like this horror movie. Everyone's faces just turn more and more focused.
I am not the most verbally dexterous person on this planet. That is for sure. Have seen it. If this is happening, we need to crush it now.
How do we know who's infected?
Interestingly, the mechanism by which they reproduce is not dissimilar from other parasitoids from the rest of the galaxy, and sometimes they go into grotesque detail about their reproductive methods.
Sick. So yeah, I mean, you would go into the detail of how it's basically the aliens from the Aliens movies. Like they'll put a little prod on your mouth.
Oh, God.
And they will insert themselves in one of your orifices and plant a seed that then grows into an infant of their species, breaks out, and when it does, the person will treat it as their own child, being bonded with this creature. It's an absolutely horrific and terrible thing. And you'll go into long detail about this, and you can see some people around the table just their faces turning from disgust to disbelief.
So the long and short of it is that it very, very much so parallels stinging Hymenoptera, but yeah, it is rather a fascinating process.
Hector, completely focused, will look over at you. Could this be what is influencing the Navigator houses? Could they be controlled by these things? Is that why they are so erratic?
I believe so. There is something that is called the shadow in the warp, which causes navigators to go insane, which causes them to be cut off from the warp. If this is true, we need to act now.
Hector will slowly sink down to the table. God, Emperor, save us.
Well then.
Eldari, everything else does not matter. It can be dealt with at a later date. They could even potentially be allies, as much as I spit in that idea. But if this is true, we must act. And I believe I believe it is in one of the temples in this city.
Hector will look at all of you for approval. Is this worth a shot?
Kill
The Eldaria's allies? Has it come to this?
It has happened before. But if we kill the infection now before it spreads, we shouldn't need to come to that option.
Indeed.
At least in this instance, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. At least for now.
Who would probably backstab us as soon as it was done?
As is true of all Xenos, but we should indeed watch our backs, and hopefully we will be the ones who produce the blade before they do.
Hector slowly nods. I don't think they're after us. We pose no threat to them. Perhaps if we stay here long enough, we can bolster our forces and break out.
Then first we must get the approval of the people here, and the king, or remove him and still have the approval of the people.
That is the problem. They infect the local populace. Do not know who is loyal and who is not. We do not even know if this is happening.
Is there a way to test this genetically to find them?
No.
Strictly speaking, there are genetic markers that would distinguish these Tyranid from uninfected humans, but the process is rather tedious. I believe that a more practical approach and a more pragmatic approach may be needed in this. But I agree, we should establish further rapport with the locals here. I think that that would be our most immediate and most fruitful approach. I believe that Marika, one of the locals here, might be able to give us some kind of lead as far as who is a believer and who is a convert to our God Emperor, and that we may start at that point.
Let me be clear. I am saying the worst case scenario. If we lose this planet, we lose the Pandemonium, we lose the Rift. The Rift destroys the Imperium.
That is our only priority. You can see Hector sweating, looking distraught as the flags he has posted for his forces are sort of tipped over one by one. Our only hope.
Then we should carry on.
Yes.
Let us mingle amongst the locals and gain further knowledge on what exactly is going on and get ahead of whether strange dealings have been occurring. And indeed, I think they're spreading some kind of propaganda about, not explicitly the gene stealers, but about their mode of operation would help root out these disgusting beings.
Llewellyn slowly tilts her head sideways and sort of goes, focus on what we can see first. If we can see it, we can kill it.
And we are making inroads to that, Llewellyn.
Awesome. Well, unless you guys want to do anything else, you will... Yep, go ahead.
I had an odd question that I've been wanting to bring up. Hive triangulation.
What?
Where was the entrance to the hive? Like
What hive?
Wait.
Wasn't
I don't think
that
it was
what it?
hive.
Gene
I think it
stealers?
was just- No. I think it was just gene stealers. We're
Gene
here.
stealers?
There's not a hive yet, or at least we haven't found one.
So you found gene stealers? Was it like in the underground? At like
No.
underground systems, or?
What I call it, my character suspects a gene stealer cult.
Oh, I thought you literally found one. Okay, that's my bad.
No, what I call it, no. I suspect a gene stealer cult. Now, whether or not that's true or not is, you know...
We'll
All right.
find it out.
Alrighty. Yeah, where do you guys want to go? You will leave the cathedral, and
right back.
predictably, when you exit, it is here on the map, by the way. As you exit, you will be met by beautiful sunlight. This huge cathedral stands behind you, built in beautiful Gothic architecture. In front of you, you will see trees that have been planted from the forests. There must be forests on this planet far, far away. There is sort of this air of sand and dust hanging in the air, and you can see it slowly blowing over the city. The city is absolutely massive. There are probably tens of thousands of people living here, crammed together, refugees from all over the planet. Most of them have injuries to their vocal cords because of the hazardous sand on the surface of the planet, which will erode and damage your vocal cords over time. Some locals are sitting outside, and you will see your adoptive mother, Sam. She's sitting there with a group of people, looks like her family. She's quite short hair, or medium hair. An older woman with a sweet smile as soon as you get up. She smiles from ear to ear. You can... she's just super happy to see you. Goes over, is going to give you a big hug as you exit. Some of the stormtroopers will sort of step between her and you before you wave them away. And you can see the rest of the locals just looking at her, completely fearless, going up to one of these space travelers that everyone fears. And she will just grab your cheek. Oh, you need to eat more. Come.
I follow her and say, I agree, these bones hardly have any meat on them. But before I do, I wanted to introduce you to the rest of my group here. This is Commissar Reichardt. This is Kale. And finally, this is Azazel.
A pleasure to meet you. She will nod, a sort of all smiles looking at you, and her smile kind of fades a little bit as you grimace back at her, Commissar.
Oh, don't mind him. He's always in some sort of mood.
She'll just keep nodding and smiling. Oh, you should meet my husband, Siam. He will stand up. They're sitting on the lawn, sort of. They've prepared this meal. He will stand up. He has a cloth of what looks like meat wrapped in leaves, and he'll present it for you. It is cold. Seems like they've been waiting here for a while for you. You should try it. Local delicacy. It is one of those. He points to the ground and you see a critter that looks like a rat.
Of course, everything that you've given me so far has been incredible. And I'm sure that the way that you had prepared this has got to be equally amazing. And I'll grab a piece and kind of offer it to the rest of the group. I'll take a couple of pieces on a plate and I'll hand it to the rest of the group.
No. Do you not know what it might do to your stomach? I've seen what happens to guardsmen that get the wrong ration pack. I'm not willing to test this.
Suppose that's why you use a sniper.
I'm quite okay. I've eaten today.
If your bowels do not get destroyed, I will take one.
I take one and I pop it into my mouth fearlessly. I'm just gonna say to the rest as I'm chewing between bites. Out of etiquette, if nothing else. I don't want to be the one who commands you, but if it comes to that.
Hale definitely takes one of them. Goes ahead and inspects it first, sniffs it a few times before going ahead and eating it.
Awesome.
Commissar Reckard will have suddenly become really interested in a trinket or something off to the side.
Suit
The
yourself.
Basil will just look at it in disgust and just be like, no, wait a few hours before I try this.
You grab it and you can see the head of this critter sticking out. It almost looks like this a Mexican wrap. And there's like, at the end of it you can see a little critter's head, literally with the eyes like boiled out.
The key is to hold the head and the tail and then kind of eat it around like that ancient grain. I forget the name of it.
She will start laughing. Oh. No, you don't need to eat it like that. She will grab a slice of it and just bite the head off. And you can see sort of this chewy head get crushed in her teeth.
I'm going to follow suit and also bite through the head. Burst of flavor.
Nice. Depending on where you're from, I mean...
That's why I didn't try it.
This is not good. This is not good.
Savages.
Do you say that?
Yep.
Okay.
If you were on the toilet for hours after this, remember, I warned you.
The man's face just goes limp. It took me a month to catch this.
Do not worry about him. He is, as they say, a jerk.
He looks down at the ground.
Well then,
completely insulted.
I would suggest you become better at hunting them.
Commissar.
He tries to swallow and the food sort of gets stuck in his throat.
I have to admit it is a bit of an acquired taste, but if you had tried what I had tried previously, you would have a changed opinion. And I should hope, a broader palette. In any case, I had brought you some of the delicacies and foodstuffs from my planet, and I'm gonna produce a ration pack that's full of completely um, artificial tasting goods.
Nice.
Some of them are going to taste extremely savory, others saccharine sweet, and still some others that are just incredibly salt packed. There's going to be like a piece of jerky, and I'm going to go ahead and offer that to Sam.
Sick. He's gonna carefully grab it and try to take a bite. His teeth sort of getting stuck on how hard this biscuit is. It is good. Thank you.
You just want to leave it in your mouth for a while. Let your saliva kind of soften it as you enjoy. It's quite good with this as well, and I'm going to offer him a pixie stick, just basically completely full of sugar.
He is like all frowns, just trying to bite down on this thing. Gets the sugar cane, starts licking it. That is wonderful. He'll break it off and start handing it to the kids. They gather around you, and you stay there for a while, sharing food back and forth, and gain trust with the locals. During this time, is there anything you would like to ask them or try to pry from them?
I want to one-on-one Marika. I'm going to pry her away from Sam for a moment and just kind of give him a couple more ration packs full of all sorts of interesting things, all preserved, all extremely potent and artificial in flavor. But I'm going to pry Marika away and say, I had a question of you. As we spread the word of the God Emperor, we were wondering if there were any groups that took particular liking to the message and to our cause.
She's gonna keep smiling, and you can see her smile turns a little fake. I am afraid no one likes it. I would always be honest with you. But there are many who dislike it.
I understand. Change is always difficult, and the God Emperor is a difficult concept and a difficult person to fully understand, but he is here to provide as well as protect. And I think
she'll
that
pucker her lips and sort of. Perhaps the children will believe it, but our legends and heroes have been with us all our lives. You understand.
Of course, but with the changing tides of things, I think that there will be newfound respect and newfound appreciation for what we bring as well. As we do plan on bringing you all into the greater fold of things.
Oh, Sam, if it was only you. But the others, they have killed many. The traitors. They came before you and ruined your reputation.
I understand, and I actually have a gift for you, a rather admittedly grim one, but one that you may have to use one day if they were to try to exercise force against you. And I'm going to pull out a revolver. I'm going to turn it around. She will
immediately shake her head. You can see her little eyes fill with tears. Oh, you don't need to think about me, Sam. I have lived my life. Protect the children. You can see her face fading a little bit as she's just filled with emotion.
I don't want to promise you that you're going to ever use this, but please do keep it, if not for nothing else, as a reminder of me and how I think about you and your family and your people. I want you to be sure that you can defend yourselves if something were to go awry.
She looks very serious, a grimaced face. Will I get in trouble?
On my word, you will not. And I'm going to teach her the basic mechanics. I'm going to try to teach her the basic mechanics of how it works and how the trigger mechanism works, how the barrel works, all of this kind of
Awesome.
overwhelming bit of information. And I'm also going to give her a couple of rounds for this. And I'm just going to say, if nothing else, give these to the children. These are called bullets, and well, when the trigger mechanism strikes the end of these, they basically will accelerate through pressure, and I'm just going to go on like a long tirade.
Nice. Yeah, her eyes will sort of glaze over, and at the end of it she'll say, "Oh, Sam, I know you're trying to protect us, but thank you for your gift." She looks over at the guards.
May you never use it.
Her face sort of has a little remnant of a smile in it now, and she looks over at the temple with the heavily armored masked guards. Please think of the children.
I will.
Thank you. She'll grab your hand with both hands and sort of tap it a few times. I know you. You are good. Maybe you can make an example of those who are not, and they can learn to trust you.
I glance at the rest of the rest of the war band, and I say, I promise you that we will bring those who had brought violence to you and your people to justice in very short order.
She will slowly approach you and sink into your hands as she gives you a big hug. Looking up at your face, you could see her sort of nod a couple of times as the commissar approaches. I will see you tomorrow, Sam.
Until then. And I return back to the warband.
Awesome. You get an inspiration point. So you sort of wander off to the market as you approach Commissar.
You realize, Sam, if you honor everything that you have said to that woman, will inevitably kill us all.
I disagree with that. There may be some compromises that we need to make along the way, but I believed every word that I said. We will strike down those who oppose us, not just in terms of action, but in terms of philosophy. And we will do what we must in order to do so. If not by... Yes, Commissar.
You're a good man. And I wish it was a good universe. But it is not. And you understand. You are an acolyte. Please tell me you understand.
Sam's eyes are going to look directly into yours as he clasps both hands on your shoulders and says, I understand. If nothing else, believe me, I understand more deeply than even you. But there must be some optimism. There must be some promise of a better tomorrow, even in these dark times.
Yes, we fight for these dark times. We fight to make sure that tomorrow is better. That is what we do. But today is not that day. You cannot give that promise. You don't understand.
I will do as I must, and at the very least, I should hope that my words carry some kind of weight and should inspire the people. After all, it is not through death and through unnecessary violence that people find a reason to believe. Even if it is that life that we must live. We should shoulder the burdens of others in order to exact the God Emperor's will.
You can see those long cobbled streets close as the light from the distant sun begins to cast shadows. Around you are 3, sometimes 4-story buildings built of these dull yellow and grey bricks with small balconies. You can see them just stretching on and on for hundreds of meters. The streets will start to fill with people from all classes of life, from dirty workers to rich, dragging carts and whatever supplies and food they have. Occasionally you'll see a religious retinue with caskets, symbols, and burning candles. People will stop in front of you and occasionally complain or say a prayer. They purposely hold up symbols to their saints and their legends, almost to spite you. You can see them holding up these icons that they believe have holy power and will somehow rebuke you. As you start walking out into the street, what do you want to do this day? A little bit of time has passed. I'm going to say about a few hours. And I'm going to roll for the other factions in the background to see what they do. Things sort of progress. And the last thing you know is that the enemy acolyte was in Fortress Charney. You know that Navigator House Rosa set up shop. You know that House Brabazum and Maimon are also in the city. You know that the ghost who stole the book has recently been spotted. Yeah, take it away. What do you want to do?
Oh, I'm going for the ghost.
What are you guys doing specifically? How do you spend this day?
I'll take 2 seconds because my throat is killing me.
What do you guys do?
As Azazel hears reports of people hearing about the ghost, he instantly says bye to the party and goes to inquire from the locals of anything and where he was spotted.
And
nice.
Seeing Azazel go, Kale just shakes her head. Better go make sure you don't get in any trouble.
No, I do stuff alone. It is easier. You stay. Unless you're good at sneaking up on people.
Awesome.
She puts her hands on her hips. You know, you sure have a way of getting people pissed off, as far as I've seen, so frankly, I think it would be best if I did come along.
I can be charming, some say, when I try. And
You ain't...
I mean no offense with what I say. I usually work alone without a team to be there.
I'll stay out of the way, you can trust in that. The moment I see you getting in trouble, it's best you don't deal with it alone.
Fine. You could stay in the back.
And she will follow Azazel quietly.
Awesome. You will trail him, trying to sort of blend into the crowd. Luckily for you, the streets are filled with people, and it is quite easy for you to sort of close your cape, put on your hat, and you look kind of like the locals. Some of them do like to dress nicely. However, Azael will sort of just blend into the crowd and then start to just meld like a fish swimming in water through the crowd. Both of you are walking around the city. Do you want to talk to people? Do you want to...
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to find out where they spotted the ghost.
Alright. So you're just spending a few hours walking around trying to stop people and question them. I want both of you to do an inquiry test.
Success with 2.
Oof. Kill him. You try to stop people occasionally. There's something about your approach this day that just doesn't... The locals just don't... Or they're not talking to you. Why? Why is that?
Simplicity is... I don't really talk to people myself.
Nice. So you try to talk to people, and there's something about where you're from in the Imperium, your low Gothic accent. You just haven't picked up the local accent yet. And you're not that great at adjusting to their accent, and they just don't understand what you're saying. Like, you try to stop someone and ask a question, they'll just keep walking. Occasionally someone will just repeat what. But Azael, you'll walk over to the market and you look more like one of the locals. Talking to some of the farmers here, you'll pick up a few hints. Apparently, there is a witness that saw the ghost. The locals here will refer to Galenus, one of the guards at the market. He was on guard that night, and he claims that he saw the ghost. You can, after sort of talking to people, they will point to the well, and he is standing by the well, looking tired in his chainmail and leather outfit. He looks annoyed, sweating. He is a little bit overweight. Man in his 50s. Looks like a veteran.
Are you the one they call Gallant?
He looks down on you as you approach. Galenus, at your service. Is there a problem?
Yes. I heard that you spotted the thief that robbed the castle's vaults. Or at least that's what people are saying.
You can see just this expression of shock and fear on his face. Don't speak his name out loud.
I didn't
He
say
might be
it.
listening. He looks over his shoulder. Anyway, who is asking? You shouldn't be going around asking about that.
Well, you see, we have an assignment from the king, your lord, to investigate this ghost. I mean, person of interest.
He squints, sort of shakes his head. You spoke to the king?
Yes.
And what did he say?
Have you not heard of the first party that came here to talk to the king before the rest of them came?
I have heard of no such thing.
You are not well informed then. Well, you see, he gave us a deal here that if we help him find the person of interest that took all of this, and we return it to him, he would be more favorable towards us.
Look, I don't know anything about this.
As he says that, his face like completely changes from like a local trying to be friendly to him to just dead serious. Like, you were lying.
Awesome. Do an interrogation or intimidate test at -10. You can choose. Caleb, if you want to step in, you can assist in this. There's a slightly bigger chance that your subtlety might take a hit.
Success of 2.
I'm still staying at the sidelines. I'm paying close attention. Don't get me wrong. I just want to make sure, frankly, if he gets punched, that I'm there to see it.
Awesome. You're watching this big guard stand in front of Azael. Knowing his history, this guard has no idea the danger he is in. If he was to lift a hand against him, you know that he's quite safe. As he stands there for a while, and you can see him sort of waving his hands, pointing at this guard. And Azael, how does this look from a distance?
Yeah, it just looks like I'm pointing. I'm just, It's like from the distance, you just see this man pointing at him, and just like his head shaking his head, like, no, you lied to me. I don't like people that lie to me.
Awesome. You've done that before. And after a little talk, you can see him from the heat and the stress. He just is profoundly sweating from his helmet. All right. Look, I just saw him do this. I don't know what it means. He'll stand back and you sort of force him to mime what he saw the ghost do. He'll stand straight up and he'll form this gesture with his hands. First a closed fist, he will turn it around, 3 fingers. Then he'll sort of slowly turn it over, as if he's forming a cup. That's all I saw. And he was flying.
Was there anything that looked like it would help him fly? Anything that looked like it was producing energy?
There might have been something on his back. A backpack, perhaps.
Is that all? For you seem more scared than just a simple spotting.
There's rumors that he can see us. He's up there, flying above us. He looks up, his eyes just jolt up in the sky and look back at you, and he's terrified.
Calm yourself. Try to remember in detail.
Yes, all I saw was he did this. He again repeats the hand gesture. He was talking to someone in the city.
Can I like do like a knowledge thing to see if I know the
Yeah.
gist?
You can do a Forbidden Lore Pirates test. -20.
Damn, I don't have any of that.
You have no idea what this means. But you can repeat it to others, and maybe they'll know.
Well, what direction was he going?
Towards the city. Away from the fortress.
Well, thank you for your assistance, even if it needed a little prying. You shall be...
Have a good day, citizen! He'll sort of clear his throat and then immediately start walking brisk pace away from the well. Mumbling to himself.
Well, I'm a go walk towards say it's Kale. Yeah, Kale.
It is very hot, midday, and if you're wearing any armor, you will be struggling a little bit.
Got what you need?
Well, there was just gesture, but I don't know what it means as I repeat it.
I get the feeling Mr. Spades might have better information on all of this.
Yeah,
Seems to...
it is a clue to wherever this ghost is.
What's got your interest on it?
You see, he stole something very important to the Inquisition here. A journal from the last Inquisition person that was here, and his other belongings.
I see.
And I have to retrieve it. Well, that just seems like all we're gonna get tonight. Might as well go back to the base.
Check in on what the rest of them did.
This didn't take long at all. You spent just a few minutes at the market. By the time you walk back, you can see them standing outside the temple.
Sam?
So in the meanwhile, I would have been preaching to whoever would listen, mostly youths and kids. I'm going to regale them with tales of knights, of the Inquisition, and I'm also going to tell them about some of the darker parts of what is to come, and kind of put some scare tactics into play here, along with how we've also gotten rid of some of these unwanted and deadly things. But I'm going to phrase it in such a way that the Imperium feels like a better place to be with, and that they alone would not survive something like this.
Awesome. The crowd in this specific district, as soon as you start to go into how you're not here to harm them, you're here to share your God Emperor with them, will sort of warm to you, slowly but surely. And you can roll an influence test.
Influence, okay. Ooh, rerolling that. Ooh, that is even worse.
Unfortunately, in your presentation, one of the crowd members is sort of agitating you and is very proficient at arguing this case. We'll start talking about how the local saints offer real protection. They can predict the weather, they can ensure crops. The God Emperor, you haven't mentioned any of these things with the God Emperor. And you can do a Common Lore Ecclesiarchy test -20 if you want.
Oh, I'm not succeeding at anything today.
Oh yeah, can I give what
yeah,
was
you're
it?
all so just you and the commissar will be watching this. Nyx and Callum, you're at the market right now. At this moment.
Yeah, all of this seems foreign to me, and I'm just going to stand there with a befuddled expression on my face as they hit me with completely new knowledge that I don't have any parallels for. Some of their paganistic ways are shocking to me, and I make an effort to hide it, but the more that they speak, the more surprised I am that they're still believing in such primitive things.
Fantastic. You get an inspiration point.
Quite frankly, I find this absolutely disgraceful. I mean, ask me a question. Who do you think protects you?
The crowd will start yelling the names of various saints. In the end, a group of black-clad men in these black cloaks will start yelling out to the crowd. Danu protects you, as always! Danu has always watched over the city. That is why we are still here. This man is a liar. And he will sort of bring up his torch and make this huge noise, and you can see the crowd sort of build up anger and resentment.
Who is Danu?
One of the women in the crowd will yell at you.
Danu is our protector, unlike you. You've come to harm us.
Really? What has happened before we arrived?
The voice is just...
Your world was
Go ahead.
desolate. Your world was destroyed. You had few cities. We have arrived. We are looking to make you part of a greater imperium. So, Danu, who is this person? What has he done to make your lives better?
She is the only one listening to you, and she'll sort of spit in your face.
If your god is so powerful, make him show himself now.
Oh. Want to make himself show himself? Do you want the benevolence or the wrath?
You can do an intimidate
Well?
test. Intimidate at -10. You are surrounded. At this point, as he is arguing with the crowd, Nyx and Calum will return. You'll see them surrounded in this failed attempt to appease the crowd as they're yelling and holding up the symbols of their saints.
Can I, do I see the guys with the torches?
I'm going to use the...
Can I sneak through the crowd and get behind them?
Absolutely. The streets are just filled with people. Even they are surrounded by people. Standing in the midst of the crowd, they're holding up books, shaking the books in the air, yelling at the top of their lungs.
Okay, so that's -1.
Okay, no difficulty for stealth.
They will ignore you. Record.
So at which point he will go, PAH! You.
I'm going to yell over the...
You get an inspiration point, Record.
I'm going to yell over the crowd, and I'm going to say, do you know the old story about the interlopers? The ones who disguise themselves amongst your sort, your people. The ones who hide a treasure that can destroy you. And I'm going to kind of go into detail about about this tale, and I'm going to start pointing out to some of the hecklers in the crowd, and I'm going to claim that they are the interlopers. They are the ones who would strike down the truth of what is really going on. Basically, what I'm trying to
people
do
dressed
is
in black, you mean? Like the
right. So
okay.
basically, I'm trying to use their stories against them.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, you could do another ecclesiarchy test. Sort of a religious argument, debate.
Oh yeah, I just sneak through the crowd to get behind them.
Sick.
As a
Awesome.
Sam is
Successful
saying,
too.
So Sam, knowing that Danu is actually not the sort of soil and root of the belief of these people. Danu is a modern god. And you will point to the crowd in black and point out how they worship this god that also denies them their saints, and how they don't know the truth about Danu, and they need to investigate that before they judge your own god. Some in the crowd are listening to you. The men dressed in black will sort of slighted and insulted finally just spit on the ground and march off down towards the south.
They do not even respect their own gods. They are contradictory in their ways. They should cast their phlegm upon their ground, which their god, Danu, says is holy land, is holy. How can you trust someone who does not, even with their own reasoning, believe what they speak of, believe what they honor and venerate?
Awesome. You definitely bring some of the crowd to your side, and a clear divide has been made between the those who believe in Danu and those who don't. What do you want to do?
Samuel, be very careful what you say. You are bordering on heresy.
I'm merely using their reasoning and their legends against them. As I kind of lean in and whisper to Reichardt, what I say is not heretical in the slightest. It's simply using their reasoning against them. I know what I'm doing.
I sincerely hope so.
Again, I'm going to speak of... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Kind of watching the crowd. Kale's gonna observe these men in black cloaks separate from the rest of the group. And they're gonna decide to go ahead and just follow them quietly through the crowds. Apparently enough, Kale is basically completely blended in.
Awesome.
oh yeah, I'm currently also following them.
Okay. Both of you will just slip away just as they start to walk. Walking at the same pace that they're walking. You're going to try to move south of the city. And I want you both to do a deceive test.
A deceive test?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a deceive.
There is a subtest of a deceive called disguise. It's a test of how capable you are at melding with the crowd.
Oh, she's gonna hide in the shadows.
Is that... Can I hide in this...
Yeah,
blend in? I'm not very blend in. I guess I'm just walking.
You're just walking. They're going to be able to see that someone is following them. If they
Yeah, I was
are,
just gonna take like the back alleys and just be like watching.
Yeah, if they succeed their test, they're going to see that someone is following them. But all good. You will follow them all the way to the south of the city. And we're gonna move your tokens to where you currently are. In fact, they're going to go to the Garden District. You're gonna pass from these temples and prisons, buildings in the east of the city, and move toward the gardens. And you'll see houses here appear more random, stacked on top of each other, often in different faded colors and red sandstone, concrete roofs. You can see people on these narrow balconies above, almost like these old Italian streets. Occasionally someone will stop in the street to beg. You can see a lot more poor people here. Small, quaint little shops selling everything from food to furniture, urns. Everything is very local, and people definitely react to you being here. And in the distance you can see tall trees and a large garden. The men dressed in black will enter this compound. It's a shady part of the city. From what you've read, this is where you'll find the more... the people are not on the good side of the law.
Is it open right now?
The compound here is not really one establishment. It looks more like there's this series of shacks. Some of the doors are open, and you can see drunks sitting outside. You can see beggars. You can see homeless, and this huge crowd of destitute people. Occasionally, you will see some armored men walk out, looking very confident, carrying weapons. What do you do?
Kale's gonna approach one of these homeless individuals. One who seems little more easily handled, less escalated than the rest of them in terms of their begging, just basically trying to mind their own business. And they're gonna pass off just a little bit of money or whatever sort of resources that might be interesting to them.
Absolutely, yeah. You have some of the local currency confiscated from the temple. In fact, you have quite a lot. So, in terms of the locals, you are wealthy, and you'll be all be carrying this.
All right.
You're just gonna throw it to the beggar. He's gonna look up and nod and say thank you with his yellow teeth.
Sure thing there, partner. Say, you live around these parts, right?
He sort of leans up, tries to get up. You can see his feet are not carrying him.
Yes. Who are you?
Name's Kale. I'm a traveler around the city. I was curious. Is she kind of...
You look rich.
He holds out a hand. Begs for more.
I'm willing to help you out there, but I'm a little curious. Do you happen to have a little bit of knowledge about their buildings? See men coming in and out?
Also, do a charm test.
I am not good at charm either.
Do you need a
You can do a straight fellowship if you like.
Neither
you
that.
can choose between charm or fellowship.
It's nothing. I got nothing in either.
You got no charm? Do fellowship instead.
I don't have fellowship either.
No, fellowship
really
is a
don't have
characteristic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
just
you
the
can
straight-
you can roll pure characteristics in this game.
Can I help her or not?
Absolutely, yeah. So
Okay, I'm a helper.
awesome. You'll approach occasionally. You'll like tag team stopping someone, asking them. Yeah, both of you sort of cooperate on
any
this
of these
endeavor.
interactions.
No, but you work together and you make it work. You'll stop quite a few people, in fact. And what specifically are you asking about? What the building is? Who's in the building?
The building, who's in the building, what kind of people seem to go in and out of it.
The locals will explain that the torchlight hovels are used by bars, gamblers, cults. There'll be random gambling events set up. The guards will barge in and shut it down. There'll be bars where people sort of waste away their lives. Sometimes some crime lord sets up shop and then is thrown out by the guards, and this cycle sort of repeats. Everything from assassinations to gangs, religious zealots. Everyone who's dealing with the shady parts of town tends to hide out here.
Gotcha. And, after a few rounds of this, at some point, I imagine they will probably ask about this Danu.
Yeah. You can do an inquiry test. Both of you can do this.
Can I let Aziel
Yes.
lead that? Because I am not good for this.
He didn't pick inquiry, but he definitely did. So, Azael, you'll start asking about the local religions.
So what is this Danu about?
Again, you'll stop sort of these both homeless and destitute people. They're the only ones who are susceptible to foreigners and their money. One of them will stop and go,
Danu is an ancient god. She lives underground, supposedly granting gifts and blessings. She is worshipped at the Temple of Danu. Now...
And is that the Temple of Danu over there as he points to the building he saw the black man go into?
he will describe a location corresponding with 13 over there. Way up in the north.
Just above the temple.
Thank you for your information, as he puts 2 coins in their hand, equivalent to $50 in this thing.
He will nod and take it. You can see him smiling from ear to ear.
You see, that's how you get people to talk.
Maybe I should just have you be the blabbermouth from here on out.
And what did you say about me not being charming?
Etiquette ain't your strong point, but everything else seems to be.
Awesome. Both of you get an inspiration point.
Okay, I wanna go look inside the building that the black-clad priest went into.
Okay, so this is an open door with just a staircase. Everything is built out of wood. So imagine this 2-story shack, totally run down. The windows are broken. The door is broken off, laying halfway on the ground. And in the opening, you can see these winding stairs leading down to the basement. Would you like to enter?
Okay, well, I suggest you go first. I feel like they saw you the way that you were sneaking up to them.
Go in and make the assumption that I'm just there to drink. Which I suppose at this point I am.
Well, go ahead. I'll be right behind you. As I, sneak behind her.
Right. Kale will go on ahead into the building. What is inside?
Awesome. As you slowly enter the creaking stairs, you'll hear people talking, and this noise of the crowd increases. You can smell a fireplace, some incense, someone is smoking tobacco, and it is dark wood, and this thick smog is going to sort of rise up towards the stairs as you approach. You can see a mysterious figure in the sort of waiting room below. As soon as he sees you approaching, he will rush off to another room. There is a lot of noise, and you can hear someone moving furniture, and it starts just as you descend the stairs.
Can I do a sneak thing to follow behind her?
You guys can do whatever you want.
Okay,
What do you
what's the... No difficulty?
Do you want to do a stealth test?
Yeah.
Alright. You will stealthily move into the room. Do you want to do the same, Kale?
Kale isn't necessarily going to stealth, but instead she's just going to pull her coat to the side behind her guns. She's going to put her hand on the handles for a draw just in case she needs it. But she's going to continue walking, and her foot... And, she's walking in a way in which her boots are very pronounced. Ka-thunk, ka-thunk, ka-thunk. And is this a bar?
No, you're actually just entering an empty room. There are several doors here. It is filled with smoke, so it's hard to see. The room is about 5 by 10 meters. A few cupboards, mirrors, a carpet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to assume Aziel...
Yeah, I'm just trailing behind you in, the shadows of the room.
Okay.
Awesome.
And Kale is going to pay attention to the noises that are going around, and she's gonna basically listen to where, what kind of movement is going on downstairs. What she is specifically looking for is she's trying to determine if below them there is another entrance or exit. And it's basically a way for everyone to get out, and the other thing she's trying to determine is how many people would be there.
Awesome. As Azael moves stealthily through the room, you catch a glimpse around the corner of the door. It seems to be a gambling bin. You can see these people you can see these people immediately rushing, cleaning up everything. There are guns there, weapons, and they look like a gang of sorts. All dressed in these gunmetal leather vests and studded.
None of the black-clad guys?
None of the black-clad guys in this room.
Okay, then I'll ignore that door and move on to the next one.
Cool. You'll search through each room. No one seems to be sort of hostile to you yet. Occasionally a person will say excuse me and walk past you. And you'll walk through a long hallway. Do you want to follow, Caleb?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You both sneak in, and reaching the end, you will be in a large, looks like a bar. Very few people sitting around, and at the other end of it, the bar, you will see these men dressed in black. There are a couple of people dressed like guards, local guards, standing next to them. They have weapons.
I'm gonna try and sneak into hearing distance if they're saying stuff.
You'll slowly walk across creaky wooden floor, and you, Caleb, can also do a stealth test, please.
Still
I can definitely do that.
No still nothing.
Still nothing. Awesome.
I have
You'll,
a plus 20 because of my the cloak, the camouflage cloak thing.
that definitely counts.
Oh, camouflage cloak.
I think you have that too.
I do.
Yes. That'll add a plus 20. You succeed with 3 degrees. And you both slowly walk over to the bar. Azael, you just blend in with the surroundings. You will sit down on the table, and no one would have noticed that you just entered the room. Kale, you just slowly walk up to the bar, sort of slide over within hearing distance. Both of you could do an awareness test.
Can I use an inspiration to reroll?
Absolutely. Yep.
I
You can always
would
do
like-
that.
Okay.
And fate points.
Oh, never mind. I don't have awareness. I didn't put anything in there.
Aha!
Ooh, yeah, nice.
Finally,
but
I have something.
sick. Yeah, Caleb nailed it. So Caleb, you'll be leaning on the bar, just completely not evoking any attention at all. So you can hear one of the leaders of this gang discussing how the Torchlight Prophets are waiting for the guide. It is a long conversation, but the gist of it is these Danu cultists are worried that they're trading information with the foreigners. They're calling you the foreigners, and they're saying that a group called the Coiled Serpents are looking for the diary. And apparently the Torchlight Prophets, who operate here, traded the diary's location for weapons. So, this place that you're in right now is part of a subgroup of the cult of Danu called the Torchlight Prophets. They, in order to gain favor with the rogue traders and the new arrivals, traded a bunch of weapons for the diary's location. So this is the diary of the Inquisitor. And the discussion goes how worried they are that you're now trading with these invaders, foreigners.
As of oh wait, I don't hear this. Yeah, I don't hear this. So only
Unfortunately not.
yeah, Kale those because I have nothing in there. I forgot about that skill.
Alright, so just so I'm clear on this. Subsect is Torchlight Prophets. They're afraid that they are trading information with us. But they traded the Diary of the Inquisitor for weapons. Did I get that right?
I wrote it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
It's complicated. I get it. It's a long conversation. But the
Who they think... Okay.
the Torchlight Prophets is a local gang. They traded the Inquisitor's diary's location. So apparently the people who came before you asked about the diary's location. And this group traded that information for weapons. They gave it to whoever was asking for it. And they're currently sort of in this exchange back and forth, exchanging favors with this group who are a part of the Imperium, a part of... So basically you, the rogue traders, the navigators, whoever recently...
The navigators.
It could be. It could also be the rogue traders. You're not sure. But
Okay.
whoever they are, these new arrivers are calling themselves the Coiled Serpents.
Yeah. Azazel like whispers to Kale's like, I can't hear anything. You got anything?
I think I do. I think at this point we should be taking our leave.
What you got? Anything important?
Let's talk about it with the rest of them.
And as you leave, do a -10 stealth test.
Okay. I just didn't... Kale doesn't want to compromise the information, so...
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense.
Does the fancy cloak come into play here?
It
Yeah.
does, it does indeed.
It's a 10 now, since it's -10.
Okay.
Plus 10 now.
Finally.
Nice. Oh my god. So, Calum, what do you do that is so believable that you just completely blend in and no one would ever think that you were listening or that you were a foreigner?
Oh yeah, Kale's like has experience with using this cloak. So he basically just like puts the hood over his head, then like buttons it down to the point where you can't see anything inside of it, and like tightens the hood to a point where only his eyes can even like see out of it, and just completely blends into the background.
Sick. What do you do, Calum?
Kale just tips her hat. She notices all the other folks here seem to be gambling, doing drinks. She pulls out a tin, puts it on the table. For a quick moment, she takes out a pair of pwn dice, does one quick game.
Sick. As
Eventually.
you gamble with the person next to you, he will you'll make him believe that he won, and he will just start like bragging to his friend, and in the midst of that you get up and the group by the table just look over and dismiss it as the usual gambling going on. You get up and leave with your dice. Very well done. Do you want to leave the hovels?
I think we got what we needed here.
Yep.
Awesome. As you ascend the stairs, you'll see a few locals looking at you, sort of suspicious. No one seems hostile as you walk across the market. The sand will have kicked up. It is about midday, and the heat again strikes you. Where do you want to go?
Are the locals are they beggars, the ones that are looking suspicious?
No, the people around you here are mostly at this point, at this time of day, it's going to be mostly people trading things that are not, well, kind of like the black market.
Yeah, I toss like each one that looks like a bit too suspicious, like a $10 coin. Like, you forget all of this.
Awesome. That is going to reduce your subtlety. So, reminder, every time you do subtle things, your subtlety is increased, rather, and vice versa.
Oh, I was about to be like, oh no, my subtlety, no.
Awesome. Yeah, you'll walk back to the group. And what have you guys been doing during this?
I'll let you take it away, Rykard. I know what I was doing.
Crack on. I'm busy at the moment. Just give me 2 seconds.
All good. I'm going to say you return, and all of you are now gathered outside the temple.
Okay.
And
Really quickly, last we left off, we had two distinct groups. One that was kind of listening and kind of interested in what I was saying, and the other group was kind of adamantly against.
Yes.
I just wanted to use their own mythology and their own some of their own stories and kind of poke weaknesses and poke holes into what they're saying and let them kind of linger on that.
Awesome. You can do a logic test.
Sweet.
Pure logic.
Ah, 6 degrees.
You'll corner one of the locals in a contradiction. And you'll be like, Danu says they can provide these blessings, but you just told me that you had a horrible harvest, and you're blaming our god. But, and you'll sort of repeat this again and again, and the crowd sort of looks to him. He fails to provide any answers, and looks like a complete fool. In the end, he will storm off, and the people will stand there listening to you as you tell them the truth about the gods. You have gained a lot of trust with the locals in the Ecclesiarchy district. And when the rest of the group arrives, you'll find that the crowd just opens up when you walk towards Sam. And Sam is talking with a lot of authority in this crowd. Everyone seems to be listening to him. As you approach, you'll see children and adults sitting around him in a circle as he is talking.
I suppose he's still at it.
Yes, it seems that Sam has found his calling.
Maybe we should join the No. Wait, no, they still fight, so yeah, maybe we should join the Ecclesiarchy as a priest. Battle priest.
Who knows? How did you get on?
Think we got ourselves a lead.
Found where those dissenters who started the argument first. Followed them to their base. Couldn't hear them, but Carol heard what they were saying, so.
Those, interesting cloaked figures. Part of something... Fellowship of the Danu or something like that. Goddess of the modern deities around these parts. They themselves are a small gang. Torchlight Prophets, a subsect of it. Apparently, they traded the Inquisitor's diary for weapons with a group called the Coiled Serpents, who they believe are foreigners. My suspicions, this could be the rogue traders, navigators, or someone among us.
It's always levels upon levels upon levels. It's so sick and tiring.
Well, you like it straightforward. But there's always a bit of intrigue when it comes to stuff like this.
But as well, let's face it, Sam is doing his... I don't know what he's doing.
He's in his element, as it were.
Yes, indeed. Long and short, our forces are being pushed back and back and back. We need to make actions.
Actions that will gain support, not push them back, Commissar. You seem to be pushing too hard with your stuff.
No, I mean, what it called to bolster our defenses.
Well, I know one quick way we could get on the side of the people here, it seems. I'm not too privy with them rogue traders. Why don't we have a look into that? A couple fingers pointing that way, at least.
Be fair, there's fingers pointing left, right, and center.
Well, Commissar,
So,
better idea.
I have a better idea. No, I don't. I will admit that I am not the most cerebral member of this group. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to do what is necessary. You?
Well, conveniently for you, as am I. Sitting in the same boat, Mr. Rickard.
That is Commissar.
You're in the
Commissar.
Inquisition now, Rickard. They're your equals, as they say. Your fellow acolytes.
Will still refer to me as my rank.
I wonder.
Anyway. Sam.
Hold on, I'm almost done. And I'm going to kind of blabber on a little further.
Nice. A child will walk up to you and go, "Is story time over?"
Yes, I'm afraid it is. It appears that other developments have happened, but believe me, I'll come back tomorrow with more. And I'll bring you a little knight. How about that? If you show up in the front, I'll show up with a little figurine that you can take home.
He sort of goes, "Wow," as his mom pulls him away. The crowd will begin to disperse, and you're standing there more or less alone.
What the hell are you doing?
He is inspiring the people to believe in the Emperor with gifts and trinkets.
He's acting like a fool.
But is it not working?
Mind yourself, Rickard. This is a way to win the hearts and minds are what we aim to conquer. There's no need for any more bloodshed than there absolutely needs to be, and I will see to it that that is true.
Remember, Rickard, you just said, do what is necessary, not what you like.
At which point, Sam will actually hear the grinding of his teeth.
Oh, come on, right into the microbead.
No, I'm not going to do that. Rickard will hear the grinding of Rickard's teeth in the microbead.
Tail
what
will
if
take out her bead.
Sweet.
Just like loud static. Horrible static in your ear.
Nah, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying pushing this man's button. I'm just like, I have the smug face of satisfaction on my face.
So I saw that you two had walked off. Any developments?
Yes, we followed the black-clad torch people that tried to sway the people to the great Danu. And, we've learned some information. Kale, tell what you heard.
Kale will go ahead and recite everything that she did to Commissar Ricard,
Awesome.
and
Yeah, you guys don't need to repeat in character if we've gone through it.
Yeah.
It's all good. Cool. So you spend some time sort of sharing the information you've learned, and yeah, you can feel free to talk out of character if you like.
Interesting. Sam will try to cross-reference some of that information against what he's already known, and see if there's anything that kind of lights up or makes a logical connection.
Oh yeah, show Sam the symbol. Because if you're a pirate, Sam, do your thing.
Do not have that, but I do have a magical tool called Flash of Insight.
That's very useful.
So I'll
This
use
is a
Flash of
clue,
Insight, and it will reveal something here.
Yep.
Automatically.
So it's a talent, like you can use a fate point to reveal a clue. Well done. The ghost made this hand gesture. So to repeat, the guard saw this armored man with a jetpack who stole the book. He gave a gesture to someone, and that gesture is in a language used by rogue traders. It means you need to carry it. So he was talking to someone, and he said, you carry it. That's what the hand gesture means.
So, do you
That's
understand
rather.
what this gesture means?
It is rather queer. In my studies of the rogue traders, well, it's a very, very long story, but this, and I'm going to repeat the gesture, means that you carry. I presume that with grammatically proper structure, it would mean that you carry it or the book.
So the next target is the rogue traders. Investigation.
So it seems. I'm also going to use Flash Breakthrough and see if I can deduce any further information from what they've given me.
Awesome.
Rerolling that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's actually a flat success.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to add. Yep.
You could look into the group, the Coiled Serpents, specifically with the rogue traders. These two clues that you found today, the trading of the information corresponds to roughly the location in the city where you've spotted rogue traders before. There is a good chance they're connected.
I'm going to go ahead and relay
there's a
that.
good chance that the Torchlight Prophets and the Ghost, or the Coiled Serpents and the Ghost rather, are connected.
It appears that they're in league with each other, and indeed, does anybody have a map of the city?
Yeah, you would have a map, and you put up a day's light, showing a pretty good aerial view of the map, which you've been given by your ship, your capital ship.
I'm going to zoom into a particular section, and I'm going to kind of use my fingers to guide where we are in relation to that location. And I'm going to say, it appears that these rogue traders, these coil serpents, may be in league with them, and I think that this location would be our next best target to search for these swords. Is anybody in opposition to this idea?
Now,
I'm along for the hunt.
So what do we need to do?
We need to go there and simply ask around. Hopefully, we'll use words that would not betray our exact purpose and meaning, but if we were to find those who associate with these sorts, perhaps we can get a little further.
I'm very good at acquiring information.
I would suggest possibly something.
What is it, Commissar?
Let's face it, I am rather, other,
Straightforward, hard line.
well, no, I was going to say I'm rather, distinguished in what he called his attire. I could be used as, if at all, could be used as a
You suggesting a decoy?
bait.
By the way, a reminder, you can use your influence to call on reinforcements. That is both a reinforcement character or a small group, small squad and so on. They're used for story contexts, not necessarily individual battles.
I don't want to wish to say this, but yes.
It might not always be a good idea, it could blow your subtlety. It's totally up to you.
Come on, Commissar. You said do whatever is necessary.
Yes. Right. You could use me as bait, and I will prance down the street, and whatever.
So you want to walk in the open and see if they take the bait?
What do you say, Sam?
Such a thing is possible, but I think that might attract more attention and may reveal to them that we are in the area. Perhaps a simple insertion of myself into this situation while
Well, they
all of you
know-
act as backups as far as
know-
potential
I
danger.
know we're here already.
Naturally, but investigating the exact area where amongst those who had taken the diary may attract more attention than we need.
If I might
Also,
make a suggestion.
Go ahead,
You'd
Caleb.
like.
If you please, I would like to actually point out that you are the lead acolyte. I am not. You should not be putting yourself in harm's way.
Nor do I aim to. But staying a safe distance away will not compromise this, nor will it compromise the mission. I'm just asking you all to stay maybe 10 meters away while keeping an eye out for me. I don't aim to die here, of all places. Not while I still have my duty to the God Emperor.
That is always a unexpected thing.
Of course, but unexpected things require unexpected approaches as well.
Well, it sounds like these rogue traders are already working through underground networks. If we really want to try and keep it on the DL, then my suggestion is to work through those same networks. I mean, after all, who doesn't want a good trade?
Agreed, and perhaps we can leverage some of this knowledge that we have in revealing more than they intend to. Do we have anything that they might want?
I mean, I think a better question is, what do we not have that they want? Money, resources, weapons.
They're certainly well connected. I believe that they would have all three, save for perhaps some knowledge on the issue. Maybe we can force an exchange of knowledge.
Rather, I mean, if our suppositions are correct, they certainly have a keen thing for Inquisitor's supplies.
We can certainly promise, but I think that delivery would be utter heresy.
I wasn't say we actually give them anything. Put the carrot in front of their nose. They'll come to us. We just gotta
Very
figure
good.
out what we want to use for a carrot.
Very good. If they are indeed after the diary, I can supply them with some minor details, of course, obscuring the complete picture.
Awesome. Where do you want to go? To sort of the area where you suspected them of operating, the rogue traders? I'm guessing?
Right.
Okay. So you're sort of slowly moving in that direction, all of you. Trying to blend in with the crowd. Again, it is in the Gardens District. Close to where you heard of the torchlight parades. You'll walk around and just look for anyone who looks like they belong to the Imperium. After walking around for a while, you will see a small group of armed men carrying las weapons, definitely from the Imperium. They're escorting two men in military uniforms with these stylish hats and sabers and the whole package. There is little doubt that these are rogue traders.
So, Sam, do you want to go talk to them now?
They seem to be moving towards the plaza, away from the market. So they're walking in this direction.
I'm going to rear myself parallel to them and just make some small talk at first before and see if they are at all interested in what I have to say.
Okay.
But I'm going to quickly transition over to more direct talks. I'm going to ask them, what do they know of the book that they are pursuing? I know some information on this, and I want to see if they'd be interested in an exchange of information.
So first off, you introduce yourself as... Who do you say that you are?
I'm going to... let's say Rick Blaine.
Cool.
Oh yeah, as he's doing this, can I like sneak up behind him and like be behind him while he's talking to him?
Yeah. Of course. And where do you say you're from? Who are you? Why are you here? Who are you with?
Oh, I'm with I'm just here with a couple of my friends. We're here searching for some relics that we've heard of, and well, we just wanted to follow up on that and see if we could make a name for ourselves.
They'll just keep inquiring. Are you from the rogue trader ships, Gallinus Halbril? Are you with the navigators? Or are you with the Inquisition?
I'm going to introduce myself as another member of the rogue traders, using some of the previous names that we've named ourselves as.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you established some names the previous salon, Blood Mequin, so that works. You're gonna pick up those names, trying to remember them, and you can do an intelligence test. So suddenly in this conversation, you have to remember the cover names that your predecessors came up with. And in fact, you came up with. You were part of that group.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I actually remembered the name that I used. It was it took me a second. So the name that I came up with was Dixon Steele.
Yeah, that's right. Well done. You'll mention it and they'll instantly respond. Like one of them turns around immediately, stops and sort of, I believe we have an announcement. Very well. I represent the glorious Conquistador of Askellon, the rogue trader house of Gallinus. We are enthusiastic to see the arrival of our competitors, as well as the holy mission of the Emperor. We have begun to indoctrinate locals in our ways, and ask that you leave us to our tasks. That is the last word of my lord. Now.
But would your lord not be interested in knowing a little bit more about what they're ultimately searching for? I don't like to brag or anything, but I do know quite a bit about it, if not the exact contents thereof. I propose a partnership. Maybe we could work together in order to find exactly the location. It is a tricky world here.
He sort of looks you up and down. Ah, yes, the location of the book. I simply have no interest in it. Nor does my lord. It's not something we are pursuing at the moment. And you can do a scrutiny test.
Success with 1.
He's definitely lying.
Well, if it's that unimportant to you, I suppose that we could make an easy exchange a really easy exchange. What do you know about the location? And I'll fess up about whatever you need here. I'm sure that, what are you looking for anyway?
He leans back and squints, almost insulted. The location? I would never inquire into such a thing. Nor would I... Well, what we're doing here, we're trying to ensure the safety and stability of the Imperium. Assist
of course.
The Inquisition in their work, and... Well, should we come upon any treasures?
of course, if we're not working for the Imperium, what else? But I mean, I'm sure that you may have heard tell of where this kind of thing might be, and I'm going to kind of rattle off some information about what the diary contains and kind of bullshit the rest
Yeah.
that I don't know about, but I'll leave out enough of the important details that they don't get a complete picture of what's going on. I'm just going to kind of tease them.
You can do a scrutiny test -20.
Ooh, okay. Rerolling that. Success with 1.
Sick. He not only knows about it, you suspect he might know someone who has it. He immediately seems way too familiar with it, stops himself, stumbles over his words, so on.
Is there anything that I can pick up immediately from what they're stumbling over? In terms of actual location or things that I'm
You
alluding
strongly
to?
suspect that he knows someone who has the book.
I'm just going to kind of sweet talk him and say, it's funny that you mentioned that. Maybe they and I could get together and establish some kind of rapport like you and I are right now. And
yes, that would be so nice. Unfortunately, the rogue trader has a little time, and I'll make sure to give your best regards. All due respect, of course.
Of course, no worries about that. Just make sure that you keep my name in your. Make sure that you keep my name around.
That.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Of course. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm gonna clap him on the back a couple of times, and in a kind of friendly way.
He totally reads the "you've been found out" vibe. Gives you a fake smile, nods again. Very quick, firm nod. Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Oh yeah, how many guards does he have?
He has 4 guards.
I'm gonna start trailing him.
What?
Nice. I was about to say, do that breathing. Perfect.
Yeah, he's like invisible. Do you want to follow Commissar and summon?
Yeah. Wait, Commissar follow? Nah, leave me by myself. It's failed before me, man. Come on. You know I'm good by myself.
Right, I'm gonna shoot everybody a look and kind of give a head nod in their general direction as soon as they.
You can't see me. I'm gone. You're just like, wait a sec, he was over there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give a head nod toward everybody else. Kale, Rykart, and
Azale's already gone.
Azale's already gone. So I'm just assuming that you've gone after them.
Sick. Yeah, you totally distract them with the politeness and tip of the hat, as you just see Azale completely disappear. You look over, try to find him. Azale, roll me a stealth test.
Straight?
It might be useless, but you never know. You could roll 100. So you're just hiding, literally hiding on the way over.
Success with 8.
Yeah, you're completely indistinguishable from the locals. You will start to move toward the Colosseum.
Just think of like Assassin's Creed. Like anytime they turn around, I'm like talking with some random people on a bed.
Posing by the market, trying to haggle with someone. They're like, what are you saying?
Like climb one of the
that
buildings
doesn't make any
just,
sense.
Start growing by roof.
Yeah. You're gonna walk past the amphitheater. Again, people being pushed aside by these guards. They're very imposing and easy to spot and keep eye on. That's why I'm not making you tests for this. They make quite a lot of noise. And you are going to follow them to this estate. Very luxurious looking villa. The streets are covered with these arches decorated with flowers. You will see painted plazas, pastel-colored, beautiful residential apartments, blocks covered with decorations, these huge mansions decked in reflective metal and polished stone, open windows, flowers, labyrinths of stone stairs between each block. And you'll even see someone who's clearly from the Imperium here. As you stop outside the door, you will see them open this huge, beautiful, adorned door with like embroidery on it and a coiled draconic symbol for the door handle. They will pull it and one by one enter the mansion.
I kind of like go to like a local bench or table, sit there, like kind of talk with the people there as I like eat one of the local foods, and I just vox Sam. I'm like, I found where they are. Do I continue?
I'm gonna whisper through the microbead as I'm trying to trail behind you. Continue. We're right behind you.
Okay, I shall now infiltrate their building, or at least attempt to. So
Awesome.
Make sure that you're not seen.
Of course. You know, at this point, I'm just gonna like grab like a random cloth and wrap it around my face and put like 2 eye holes in it.
Yes. As you put on the cloth and walk over to sneak in, I'm gonna say the rest of you have sort of walked in the vicinity, and you're gonna keep video contact. Do you disagree with this?
I'll fine. Yeah, I'll keep radio. I'll tell you like the lowest volume possible so people won't hear. But yeah, I'll keep radio contact.
Yeah, so they can kind of keep watch. So you both walk looking at the entrance of this mansion now. Azael will make himself known with a slight hand gesture that is impossible for anyone else to see. You spot him, and you're waiting outside. And as you're getting ready, Azael, I think that's where we can round off.
Yep.